Celeste, the newest game to come from Matt Makes Games, and dang, does Matt know how to make great games. After the genius multiplayer experience that was Towerfall, and combining that excellence with a genre that is similar to games like Super Meat Boy, VVVVV, and 1001 Spikes, you get a beautiful mesh of stellar gameplay that is engaging and soul-crushing at the same time. Throughout this game, you experience Madeline's story and her troublesome past. As you progress through Madeline's journey, the tense and eerie feel of Celeste Mountain makes you truly feel invested with the story. This 8-bit wonderland is a beauty to behold, and it's a game that takes me back to the days when I was a kid wondering where my place was in the real world. This game is very deep and really engages you in Madeline's journey, so let's look into the beauty that is Celeste. First off, gameplay is marvelous. As stated before, if you've played Towerfall, this is basically a single-player edition of that game, with an in-depth story and without bows and arrows, which if you haven't played Towerfall, I implore you to do so. Madeline moves quickly and precisely, and I absolutely love the diversity in her movement. From dashing, jumping, and climbing, this game is a heck of a good time. The difficulty isn't insane, but it isn't easy either. I died 210 times on one level. Also, these levels are not very long at all, just to put that in perspective. They also provide extra challenges in the story through the collection of strawberries, which are sometimes a complete pain to get, and it only sucks though because they're only used for bragging rights, which I don't have a whole lot of friends that play video games, so I usually don't have a whole lot of patience to bust my balls for a strawberry. In addition, the sprite animation is beautiful and in a league of its own. The graphics are amazing. From the flowing hair of Madeline to the chirping birds and the annoying old lady that always laughs at you, I love the way this game looks, and especially at night with the sparkling stars and campfire. This art style really hits home, and Celeste is breaking new grounds when it comes to retro style graphics. Now, in addition to the beautiful graphics in this game, the soundtrack is just as impressive. It's absolutely breathtaking. The OST consists of music you would think of when walking through a dark park with a beautiful moonlit sky while being looked down upon by twinkling stars. The soundtrack is a real homage to the 8-bit era, and some tracks really remind me of the Fez soundtrack, and we know how beautiful that game was. Then there's one level in particular I won't spoil, but the theme got my blood pumping and I was hyped for the challenge in front of me. Now let's talk about the story. The story is probably the strongest part of this game though. The plot revolves around Madeline, a girl that is determined to climb Celeste Mountain no matter the cost. And for most of the story, her intentions remain a mystery. What is so thrilling about Celeste is the psychological and thrilling aspect of Madeline. She is absolutely and very damaged, and she is doing her very best to escape that horror that is herself. Madeline gets to the point of meltdowns and pure desperation in some situations, but presses on regardless. And because of this, Madeline becomes a very deep and developed character that will be forever loved in the indie scene. Therefore, Celeste is an overall exhilarating experience that has everything going for it: an engrossing story, beautiful pixel art design, a jaw-dropping soundtrack, and tight responsive gameplay. I would have never thought I was going to give out another perfect score, but it's really hard when there's absolutely nothing wrong with this game. Even when there is no payoff for collecting strawberries, that doesn't really hamper the overall experience. I'm giving Celeste a perfect 10 out of 10. I feel really passionate about this game, and I know that this game has a lot of growth potential and sets a new standard for the indie game community. I personally don't know of an indie game this good since Shovel Knight. This game is one of a kind, and you owe it to yourself to experience Madeline's journey. That concludes our review of Celeste. Let us know what you think in the comments, and maybe subscribe, but most importantly, thank you for tuning in to VGEN.